Dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, and thank you very much, David, for this kind presentation. It gives me enormous pleasure to participate again at this such an important dialogue, China, Europe, America Global Initiative on museums, this time focused on the role of museums in fostering creativity. And I'm particularly honored to take the floor after so many inspiring. Thank you very much, Ambassador, also, for such an inspiring presentation that you made. And as the Minister of Culture of Greece just mentioned, we celebrated just a few days ago the International Day of Museums. And this year, every year, it's focused on different aspects, but this year it is focused on education and transmission of knowledge. And from that point of view, because we spoke of the role of museums in society, and there are so many scholars and museum workers here that are participating, and I would like particularly to thank our host, the Museum of Tianjin, for hosting us for this conference, supporting this auspicious initiative, as well as the local authorities. Museums, indeed, nowadays are not just repositories for objects, but they are centers of knowledge exchange, creativity, innovation, and social connection. It is through the soft power of cultural diplomacy, museums are spaces to foster an awareness of our shared history as humanity and to transmit common values. This brings me back exactly 10 years ago, because this year UNESCO celebrates the 10th anniversary of the historic visit in 2014 of President Xi Jinping to UNESCO, and his memorable speech when he said, "We live in a world with different cultures, ethnic groups, skin colors, religions, and social systems, and the people of various countries have become members of an intimate community of shared destiny." And this resonated deeply with the project of the Silk Road that UNESCO has been leading for the last 30 years. Let me add that the Silk Road project has a very rich legacy of movable heritage displayed in museums along the length of these routes. I'm happy to say that since 2017, these museums are presented and promoted by the online platform connecting the historic cultural legacy of the Silk Roads from across the world, from Venice to Xi'an, all the way through Bagdad, Samarkand, Balk, and others. Over millennia, the wondrous story of the Silk Road has been one of encounters between people, cultures, religions, and not least, knowledge. These encounters have shaped civilizations over the ages, catalyzing inventions, fertilizing intellectual scholarship. They gave birth to literary and scientific treasures, to traditions and artistic practices that have been passed across generations. And all of this glorious story of human encounter can be found in the museums. They are places indeed where people meet, where they come together to share ideas, to innovate, to learn more about their own history and culture, to learn more about other histories and cultures. They are places where we come together as one single humanity, showcasing the wealth of our diversity. They are places to wander, to learn about the past, and to invent the future. In recent years, China has been at the forefront of the global transformation of the museum landscapes. If in 1949, China had only 25 museums, today there are more than 6,500, acting as platforms for urban development, for social inclusion, for the quality of urban spaces. Museums, indeed, are where curiosity meets discovery. They provide a unique environment where people of all ages can explore new ideas encounter different perspectives, and engage in critical thinking. Whether it's a child seeing a dinosaur skeleton for the first time, a student delving into the intricacies of an ancient civilization, or an artist drawing inspiration from a masterpiece, museums spark curiosity and foster a lifelong love of learning. And what is the topic of the conference today? Museums are incubators of creativity indeed. They host exhibitions that push the boundaries of art and science, and they serve as a platform for contemporary artists to experiment and innovate. Through interactive exhibits, workshops, and educational programs, museums encourage visitors to engage with the material in hands-on and meaningful ways. This engagement stimulates creativity, allowing individuals, and mostly young people, of course, to express themselves and explore their own creative potential. I have always seen museums as cutting-edge laboratories of our shared humanity, to protect our heritage, to catalyze new creativity, to help us find words and images, to capture the complexity of our world, and to understand the other. I firmly believe in the power of museums as forces to rejuvenate urban policies, to deepen social inclusion, to create jobs, to foster a sense of belonging, and to make the most of cultural heritage for all, and to contribute to the mutual understanding in the complex and fragile world we live in. This, in fact, is the spirit of UNESCO's recommendation concerning the protection and promotion of museums and collections, adopted in November 2015, to promote the role of museums, to foster the ideals of tolerance and mutual understanding. The recommendation recognized that the preservation, study, and transmission of cultural and natural, tangible and intangible heritage in its movable and immovable conditions are of great importance for all societies, for intercultural dialogue among peoples, for social cohesion, and for sustainable development. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to finish with this, these ideas were very well captured in the congratulatory message of President Xi Jinping addressed to UNESCO's high-level forum on museums as a follow-up of the adoption of the recommendation by UNESCO, held in Shenzhen in 2016, in which I had also the privilege to participate. President Xi said, "Museums are cultural palaces that preserve and carry forward human civilization. Museums are bridges that link our past to the present and future. Their contribution to promoting mutual learning of civilizations in the world is indeed remarkable." President Xi invited further the participants to build consensus on how to bring back to life the diverse collections of museums and to increase the global audience's access to them, so that they can be instrumental to the preservation of cultural diversity, to increasing the understanding among peoples of the world, and to the advancement of human civilization. I believe these words have not aged a day. At the heart of our cities, museums are much more than cultural spaces to display collections. They are places of innovation, creativity, and constant dialogue within and among countries, and knowledge about the incredible and precious cultural diversity of humanity. That is why this conference is so important. Thank you for your attention.